Hey, Rambo.
Hello.
How's it going?
Going good. Mini heat wave.
It's a blindingly bright light coming over your shoulder. It looks like
Yeah,
the. No, it's okay. You don't have to. You don't have to close it. No. It just I'm not used to seeing the sun in London. So, how's it going? You guys are in the middle of a heat wave as
yeah. Well,
well.
it's
Yeah.
they say heat wave. It was just sunny today, and they're saying it's just going to get hotter all week. So nice change. Probably a week of summer over here.
Is that unusual? Is it unusual this time of year or?
No, it's that's growing up. It used to go right the way through June, July, August, all the way through. We have these holidays, the 6 weeks holidays, where you like when you're off school, and it would
Yes, it's
just
like
be
summer
so hot
essentially.
all the time. And that it's not like that anymore. I remember one year they gave us a hose pipe ban, so you weren't allowed to use your hose
Oh,
pipes because
you
it was that
couldn't
hot.
you couldn't like water your lawn, you couldn't wash off
Yeah,
your car, you couldn't do anything with a hose pipe. Ooh, water restrictions. Yes, that's a psychological little tool right there. Just when you're thinking about water the most, they take your use away, so you're
I just
interacting with
remember
it
as a kid,
less.
in these times, it was just hot all the way through, and
Mhm.
especially when you broke up from school. So August, I don't remember an August where it was really hot now for a long
Ooh,
time.
do you think that the timing has switched, has been
Yeah,
adjusted,
it's
has been
kind of
manipulated? Like
starts earlier
sooner?
now. I feel, yeah,
Yes. Okay.
yeah.
So someone brought this up. Hilly brought this up at the Vibe Tribe in Austin, and she said she was like, remember when, not that long ago, this year I believe, they said the zodiacs were to be adjusted. All of the zodiac signs, they were like going shifting back a month. So if you were an Aries, you're now an
Oh
Aquarius
yeah,
or whatever, like
didn't
whatever,
they add a
you
new
shift
one?
back. So what I think that, so if you kind of think about the dial of the of all the zodiac, turning backwards one notch, and then now it's getting hotter sooner. It's almost as if the our whole weather system is tied to the zodiac in that way. If the zodiac did in fact shift, and this is not just a metaphorical, conceptual, whatever. If there is a zodiac and it did shift, did that change the earth, the sundial in relation to the earth? Did we clock back our timing, our calendar, when things get hotter, when things bloom, when things blossom? Did that get adjusted as
Something's
well?
definitely changed there, and it's
It does feel
when it
hotter
is
sooner.
sunny. Sometimes it's just not sunny, but it's just humid. Like
Oh, that's the
maybe that's just Manchester. I
worst.
don't know.
That's an uncomfortable type of heat, in my opinion. If it's going to be a set temperature and that temperature is hot, I would much rather it be a dry hot, especially if I have to spend time outside, than a wet hot, than a humid hot.
We're expecting the next few days to be really hot. Friday being the hottest.
We've talked about this so many times, but weather in relation to the behavior of a human public, it alters our behavior significantly. When certain weather events and phenomena take place, it's guaranteed that many humans are going to willfully make the same decisions and
And
actions
that's
as
why I believe that there is such thing as like weather manipulation. And I definitely kind of, at one point, I didn't think they could. And now I just feel like they must be able to because it's like the best kind of two. If you can do that, you can have control everybody's moods, can't you? Do you know what I mean?
moods, actions,
Everything.
behavior. Yeah, it's just wow, it's really, really, really interesting. And they're calling it like a dome. What are they calling it?
I think it's like a snow globe and it just like shaking it
It
up.
does. It does feel like a slow. Okay, what is a heat dome and how long do they last? Y'all, we are now living in the era of the heat dome. And if you Google heat dome and look at what it looks like, obviously a dome over a portion of the United States. This is the map I'm seeing, but it could be anywhere in the world theoretically. It's such a how does a heat travel in a perfect dome like that? Like what are the physics of that? And why in my all my years, why am I now just hearing about heat domes?
Mm.
If the world's been around for ever and ever, how are
We're
we just
living
now
one.
hearing about heat domes? It feels very strange.
Have you ever looked at the sun? Have you ever I've done a time where the sun set and I looked into the sun and I stared at it. It kind of hurt my eyes for a bit. And then I kind of adjusted. They call it sun gazing, don't they?
Yeah.
And I seen a disc, and it was like a purpley disc spinning around the sun. I've spoke about this before, and there's other people that have seen it as well. Apparently, I don't know if they're bots or not, but when I type this in, there's other people that have also seen the disc spinning around the sun on like
I love
Reddit.
looking at the sun. Okay, so it's a real love-hate relationship for me. I've got an eye condition called photophobia. I've had it my whole life, but my parents had no clue. Even when I was always complaining about how bright everything was, I was like, what? I was like in so much pain as a child. But nobody in my family wore sunglasses. I didn't really understand what sunglasses were, and I had no idea that there was some sort of simple solution for my problem until I was like a teenager, and I finally started wearing sunglasses religiously because I would be crying outside, and like I'd have to squint. I could only open with one eye. Every single childhood photo of me outside, I am squinting like mad, and I only have one eye open. That's the only way. It was so painful, and one eye has it more significantly than the other. So yeah, my left eye has a far more photophobia. So my right eye can like be the one that takes the sacrifice, but it's still very uncomfortable. And it's just solved by wearing like, polarized sunglasses, and that oh my gosh. But okay, so that said, there is a period of time called low elevation sun, where it is golden hour, essentially the first hour of the day from sunrise on, and then the last hour of the day until sun sets past the horizon is what we call golden hour. And I find that temperature of the sun, which is measured in Kelvin, the temperature of the sun, or the temperature of any light, is measured in a scale called kelvins. And and the sun at certain times has different types of frequencies. When it's high up in the sky, the sun is a blinding blue. It's giving off blue light. We don't realize that. We think it always looks yellow or whatever, sun color.
Well, I was about to talk about that then.
Ooh.
Is the sun changing colour?
Well, throughout the day, for sure. Throughout the day it is, because,
All
golden hour.
because I only see a white light every time now. It's kind of used to be like orange and stuff. Now it's just always white.
I'll see a big orange sun in that magical hour, golden hour. Yeah, I'll definitely see. It's definitely different for me visually. The sun looks visually different for me for sure at golden hour. But then every other time it's just like white, yeah, or like whatever. It's just that ball of light, that kind of nondescript ball of light in the sun. But like you said, when I stare at it in the low angle, that's the only time I can really let my eyes go towards it, is when it's low in the sky and the temperature is such that it doesn't burn my retina. I also see a magnificent array of colors around it, around the and then when you close your eyes, you have that negative burn, that visual burn in of the, if you were looking directly at the sun, it would be kind of like an orb, and if you moved your head, the orb would kind of be tracing in that light pattern. It's pretty cool. The sun. I talked with my Maria about the double sun.
Honestly, I've seen like a spinning disc. That's what it kind of looked like to me, and I've seen it more than once as well. That's what's only on sunset, just at its lowest, just before it's gone.
That reminds me of the Truman Show when the star falls out of the sky, or in the Westworld opener when they flash that sun-like disc. Yeah. When that disc is spinning in the opening, that's so cool, and that was representing the false sun shining onto Westworld. Ooh, the sun is, we're told it's a ball, but it doesn't appear to be a ball in any way, shape, or form. And just like the moon appears to be a disc, like a flat disc. Yeah. A full moon, you see a flat disc, and they say, oh, it's just because it's shining bright, you can't see the depth or the whatevers. It's like, we can see the depth of the craters. We should be able to see the depth of the sphere. Same with the sun. Oh, well, it's so blindingly bright. I know, but I don't know. There's something about it. These like, they're just like light beams. It reminds me of the Truman Show when the star came out of the sky.
Is it getting hotter as well? Because when we have a hot day now, it's like a really hot sunburned sun. Do you know what I mean? Like when it is really sunny, it's like the sun's getting hotter.
It's getting more powerful in a way. Maybe it's more intense, and we're interpreting that intensity.
Here's a wild one. Yeah. Is the dome getting smaller?
Dun, dun, dun. Yeah.
Is the sky falling?
Ooh, Skyfall. Yes.
Ooh.
Yes. That makes so much sense. It's folding closer. If it is like a
Skyfall
planetarium style
007.
dome. Yeah, Skyfall. Oh my gosh, when I go to work every day, when I do go into the studio, I pass this little art installation called Skyfall Park. It's relatively new and always makes me think, but it never made me think to this, but now I'm like, okay, that's why I pass it every day, because this is something we're supposed to come up on. Skyfall. It is like if it was getting smaller, the dome, let's just play a thought experiment. If the dome, which is some sort of glass that allows to be seen in and projected into, but from the inside, we're unable to see out. Kind of like one of those mirrors in the detective shows where the two-way mirror. And then if it was getting smaller and smaller and the light source was continuing to be on the exterior but getting closer and closer and closer, the light by definition would be getting more intense, therefore hotter to the subject, us. Interesting. The Simpsons had a dome episode, didn't they? Didn't they have a
That
whole
was
thing
the
about the
movie.
dome? Oh, the
That was the movie.
movie.
That's what I mean. It's there. Enough things come from there. Why would they make a movie about that? And then have you ever seen that little series, the Under the Dome? Have you ever
Oh,
seen
that
that?
was a Stephen King something, right? Oh my
And this
gosh.
whole town get trapped under a dome, and I didn't watch it to the end,
Under
but I
the
watched the
Dome.
first
It was a
series.
novel. Yeah, it was originally a book by Stephen King, and then they made it into a series. Yeah, TV series. Interesting. Under the Dome. There's something about that, Rambo. When did you first
Worth a
start
watch.
thinking about that? When did you first start thinking about like an impassable barrier, invisible but physical, surrounding us? When did that become something?
It was kind of when the space thing, when I started to see that there was no NASA, do you know what I mean? It was kind of, and obviously you knew that from the moon landing, but it's when you really look at the videos and you see it's all cartoon, that's when you start to think, what is it? And I'm starting to think of it's maybe there is an outside like the Simpsons movie where there is a way to the other side of the dome, and we're just living under. Do you know what I mean? Like, and it's way bigger than we think as well. That's what.
Oh,
like we've always said,
goodness.
we said before, you can't go wherever you want anyway. Do you know, you can't go on holiday. You can only go where you're allowed to go. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can't just go somewhere wherever you want. You can't just get in your plane and just fly somewhere. Do you know, you can't.
Yep. That
Or
is
buy a ticket.
Yeah, you're right, because you're right. Every train station you could go to and get a ticket to anywhere you please, any airport you could go to and get a ticket to anywhere you please. You can only go certain places, and you
Only
have
where you can buy a ticket.
And you have absolutely once you're up in the air, you have absolutely no idea what flight path you're actually following, and you have no like recollection of all the other places, or no ability to recognize all the a million different options for direction.
Yeah, I just think of that Grand Theft Auto map where it's kind of blacked out, and as you go further into it, the light comes onto it, and we're just in a little bit that we haven't opened up the other towns yet and stuff. You know, the other maps, we haven't unlocked the other maps, and that's how it kind of feels to me.
Brilliant. That's exactly what it is. We really do. We really, really do render as we go. We render as we go. We are rendering that Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, that's how it kind of feels. But when you look at the sky, I also see a shape to it as well. Maybe that I'm subconsciously seeing that there is a dome, but I know. But when I look up, I see a shape to the sky, and it looks.
Have I told you my thing about looking at the sky upside down? Have I told you where you need like a big open sky, like you need to be like in a park? Have I told you about this? Okay.
Not sure.
Well, I don't know if it's a sensation singular to me. I've told many people about it, but I don't know if people do it because it kind of sounds crazy. But when I look at the sky from upside down, and what I mean by this is when I'm in like the middle of an area, like a big park, and I can see I can see the full sky. You know, it's not like in the middle of buildings where you can't see a lot of the sky. Like there's a big amount of sky. There's a big amount of sky, and it doesn't have to necessarily touch the ground. The sky and the ground don't have to meet. You can have tree line or whatever, but you kind of want to be in an open space. Whenever I turn upside down, the sky goes from appearing like a perfect circular dome, for lack of a better word, coming up and around us to a point, in a perfectness, and sky and clouds just kind of moving on into obscurity, just every which way, every which direction, with no real pattern or whatever. So that's how we look at the sky. But whenever I look at it upside down, I see 4 distinct corners, and I see the clouds curving in those corners. So I'm looking around, it's like normal, 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 curve, normal, 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 curve, normal, and it's like, and then I look back up and the clouds just look like regular, like they're not curving at all. They're just, so it's like they're curving to create this endless pattern scene around us. Reminds me of Squid Game.
Distractions, like just looking at the clouds.
But it reminds me of Squid Game, the shape of it, because they would play that Go game, that really horrific game where they get shot. And anyway, I didn't get past like the first 2 episodes, so I tried to block that out.
Square box.
It is a square
clouds
box
and all this stuff.
Yes, yeah. And if you kind of squint, it does give the appearance of an endlessly mapping sky, endless sky around us, perfect in every direction. But when I look, and that's normal. And then when I look upside down, it's pinched. It's pinched at 4 corners.
Yeah, that's the thing though. Not everyone's looking at. I just recently done a tweet. Did you ever just like sit back and just watch everyone go by? Like I'm like looking at stuff like the moon, the sky, and stuff, just thinking what it is, and everyone's just rushing about, just don't care about anything. And do you know what I mean? I just sit back and watch that sometimes.
Ooh, watching the hustle and bustle.
Just people watching.
Yes.
Just watching everyone's lives, just like where are they all running to? Do you know, like what's the
people watching might be my favorite hobby. I love it. I do it. I love to observe people. Oh, and I did see your tweet, and it was about like, where's everybody going? Right? You said that people were rushing.
What's the rush? Everyone just sees that dead impatient nowadays. Do you know?
Yeah.
Everyone's just rushing around everywhere, and that's what I mean by just like I just watching people just rushing everywhere and barging past everyone and shouting at other people. You know, just in a rush to everywhere they need to go, rather than just like,
yeah, what's the rush?
Chilling.
I have a theory that time is manipulated and influenced by our perception or not our perception, but our relationship to it emotionally. And what I mean by that is when you're rushing around all the time, if you find yourself always in a rush, I think that you're actually constricting time for yourself. I think that it's almost like
making time speed up. That's why it feels faster.
Speed up. Yeah. Right. Gobbling up your time. But I think it goes to the law of abundance, like this theory of abundance, but that's the opposite of it. Like the idea that you are always running out of time and you don't have enough time and you need to hurry. I don't know.
My favorite one as well. When you sat in traffic and you can see all the car roofs and you're thinking like, where are all these people going? Like, I'm always like different radio stations on, just going everywhere, all going different. That's the kind of stuff I think about while I sat there in traffic and stuff.
If you take off everybody's car rooftops and just look at everybody, there'd be so many.
Where are they all going? What they doing? What music? What they listening to? Do you know, that's
individual universes, countless, a sea of them, and nobody is really aware of anybody else's universe, even though it's just
their own in the car with the music on or on the phone or whatever it may be.
Yeah. Ooh, you know what that reminds me of? Car hypnosis, where you will be put into a state of cognitive default and go into a deeper thinking mode. And it's essentially like driving, and all of a sudden you leave point A, you drive, you arrive at point B, but you arrive at point B going, how the heck did I get here? I don't remember driving. I don't even remember driving. Yeah, it's a form of autopilot. I've never experienced it. I've never experienced it fully. Like I've never gone from point A and then gone to point B and be like, how'd I get here? I don't think I've experienced that, but I have experienced times on long drives where all of a sudden I'm just a lot farther, and I was kind of in my head. You know, I was so on autopilot that my visual scene was not necessarily the road, even though my eyes were open looking at the road, but I had gone so far into like a daydream essentially, or pondering or a thought process, that I was essentially somewhere else. My mind was totally somewhere else, and visually in my mind I was actually kind of there, even though I was still processing the scene subconsciously. And so if anything were to dart into my perceptional view, like slow down traffic or whatever, I would have been able to snap back out. But it's still a form of hypnosis. Like all of a sudden you're like, oh, whoa, back to it. Like a deep, deep daydream, you know. We've all experienced it, but some people do it while driving. And
I
it's
always
kind of
do that. It's like,
yeah, I mean, it's
set off
normal.
and then I'm there.
You know, but the stripe, there's so many things on the road itself. Okay, think of the rumble. Think of the relaxation. I mean, babies drive around in cars because, like a fussy baby, sometimes you take it for a drive at night. And because the rumble of the road has been proven to sometimes quiet or put to sleep a baby that's on the verge, but for whatever reason doesn't want to go down. So it's a lulling sensation already with the rumble. And then they've got the striping, which is those lines down the center, and passing those constant striping. I mean, think about like a hypnosis with the little clock watch, you know, going pendulum swinging in front of your eyes, like that constant repetitive lining is a hypnotic sensation. It's almost as if they want us to
I never
go.
thought of that, but I think it is, isn't it, really? When
Yeah.
it's like, that's how you zone out. You know?
Yeah.
Have you
Put
ever
those two
actually
together.
been hypnotized? Like someone
No.
hypnotized you? I'd like to try that.
I've seen
because
it. I've
I've
seen
had a
it
go
in the
at-
audience.
I've had a go at one of them, and it just didn't do anything. I was just like, nah.
I was going to say, I don't think that I could picture you being hypnotizable in that way. You know, I can't really picture you being on stage doing the chicken dance and all that stuff. I see you like looking at everybody going like, what the fuck, you guys?
I know someone that went to one,
Yeah.
a proper one, and they said, oh, I was fully hypnotized and everything. And it's like,
You know, some people say
know.
it's the only thing in the world, hypnotization, that can cure them from certain behavior patterns. Smoking being one of them.
smoking. I know
Smoking's
people who've had it done off smoking and said it's worked and stuff, but
Isn't that wild? It's crazy. You know, I'm not going to poo-poo. I'm not going to say no. You know,
I'd like to try it off a proper one, not just like a random guy in a pub.
Right? Not some like mass audience, just sideshow sort of
It
situation.
wasn't like a mass audience. You just like took a couple of us and done it, and it was just like, no, and then he sent you out
I'm
the
sure
room
there's
again.
private hypnotists that do it in a way where it's
The smoking one's all over the show, but maybe I'll try one just to see.
Maybe you can go to the smoking one and be like, I'm not here for smoking. I'm just here for general. Just here for general hypnosis.
Or I could try smoking one. I could just like try it and just see if I feel like any. I don't know,
Oh, totally.
any
Yeah,
difference in it.
absolutely. That
You
would
know,
be
like-
interesting. That would be interesting because a lot of these people who go for it just smoking, they really are seeking that. They want that badly. They want that outcome badly. That's specifically what they're going for. But if you go and that's just like kind of like a happy, unexpected outcome, you know, it's like, oh, okay, well now I no longer going to crave it. Okay, good. But it's not like we're seeking that out. I wonder if that has a different outcome, is kind of our perception going in too. I don't know. It's so interesting. Hypnosis. Oh, if anybody has an experience with being hypnotized personally,
Let us know.
let us know. I would love to hear personal experiences about that. Whether it was something that was a private one that you sought out and it was done in, I would love to hear how it's done, like what the room's like, or if it's one of those larger ones that's like on stage. I went to one. I was in the audience at one during college freshman orientation, and that was like a thing that was on, part of these little these get-togethers and these welcoming Anyway, they try to do some fun stuff, and one of them was a hypnotist, and people were just acting like fools on stage, and I was like, how much of this is just them wanting attention and like making a name for themselves on like the first week of school? You know what I mean?
I think some of them just playing a part of it. That's
Kind
the
of think
feeling
like
I got when I went to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then, like you say, there's people like standing on chairs and doing all sorts of stuff.
Right.
Who I was
that's a
just in
totally
the room with
different
speaking
experience.
to, and
Right.
I got that feeling from them, like that it was all a bit of attention seeking.
Right. which I
Like,
think,
look, he's
yeah.
funny. He was hypnotized. You know, something. I don't know. I just got.
And they make them do like embarrassing stuff. You know, they make them always contort their bodies into weird ways, like stand on your foot and touching your, whatever. And then they make them act out like animalistic things, like now you're a chicken, and then you have to behave like a chicken on stage, like clucking around like a maniac. And that kind of goes to these totally different subject, but Hollywood like shaming rituals. These haze. It seems like a form of hazing in Hollywood where people get exposed for these horrifically embarrassing things. But is it all just for show? I don't know.
Yeah, like the Johnny Depp thing.
Yes.
Like even she has said now
gruesomely
he's
embarrassing.
a fantastic actor. They're pretty much just telling you
I know.
everything.
He's a fantastic actor. That's how she ended her little speech on the Today Show today.
Of course he is. It was a good.
He's a great actor.
Captured everyone.
You notice that every picture of him from the trial looks like a man in a mask and a slightly different.
Someone completely different. So like
it did. It looked someone completely different. I can't believe.
Then he done a Jack Sparrow voice. I seen that he was doing like this Jack Sparrow voice to people in the crowd, like shouting thank you and stuff. But it just felt like
the whole thing rang hollow. It did not ring true. Nothing about that case rang true. The whole thing was bad acting, and we just got sucked in. And you know what I have noticed is there's a whole lineup now of similar celebrity courtroom battles on the forefront. Brad and Angelina are about to go in a similar civil trial case. So it's just basically, they're just like creating their own courtroom dramas. It's such a ridiculous.
It's like the Judge Rinder or whatever it's called. What are they called? Do you have one of those TV programs?
Judge Judy. It's like TV court. Rambo, it is TV court. That's exactly what it is. It's exactly.
Who was that woman you tagged me in just before that with Nancy Pelosi? That was funny. That it was definitely a mask.
I know. Who was that? This is one woman. She's a politician. And let me pull her up. But yeah, her, and I had to tag you because everybody in the comments was saying that looks like a person in a mask. Hold on, let me get that pulled up. It was so. What's her name? Maxine Waters? I can't remember. Maxine something. Yeah. Let me see. Hold on. Maxine Waters. I'll cut this little thing out. Maxine Waters. Oh, man, just trust yourself. Maxine Waters and Nancy Pelosi, and they are standing next to each other. Nancy looks horrific. Their faces are glued on improperly. Maxine is frozen in time. She's not sure. Her eyes are wide open. She's not moving a muscle. Her eyes are fixed gaze for like 30 seconds. It's like she broke.
Is there anyone saying that it's a glitch? I haven't looked.
Well, that's the first thing that I thought. I didn't see glitch. I just saw mask. But that's what I thought. That's what it reminded me of. Remember when Al Roker was frozen on screen, and then there was one where I think Shaq was frozen on screen. There's a lot of examples. And Nancy kind of looks like facial overlay technology, like on Nancy Pelosi. Anyway, blah 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 blah. Whatever.
Yeah, she looked different. She looked like she wanted. I don't know. Just something did seem different about her, but that did look like a person in a mask.
Yeah.
I think that was actually. I feel like sometimes they do use like the actor.
Yeah, this looks. I think this goes to
definitely
all of it.
A comedy that.
It goes to all of it.
Comedy
There's so many different forms of manipulation at play. There are endless forms of manipulation, and whether it's the CGI, the practical in person or the digital for the screen experience, it's everywhere.
But yeah, where it's just like I posted one the other day on Will Smith and Martin Lawrence talking about. He was in some interviews a few years back. Talking about Bad Boys 2 and he was talking about the stunts, and he was like, you used to do your own stunts, and then Will Smith says, no, we use facial technology, and I posted it on my Instagram story,
and that was
doesn't even have to
a
be
while
us,
ago.
basically.
Was it?
Yeah.
When was Bad
It was
Boys
on a
2?
morning radio show.
2003, and they're talking about facial overlay technology.
2003 was before Kim
2003, a long time
Kardashian
ago.
as well.
Was when Kardashian's sex tape came
Oh
out.
no, yeah, 2007.
Wow. And it's a hop, skip, and a jump. 2003 Bad Boys 2 is a hop, skip, and a jump from 9/11 with CGI overlays through broadcast, through our airwaves. And that was allowed by a company called Jaleo North America, who was responsible for switching all broadcast news into this new HD format. It's not HD of what we think now. HD now is insane, but back then, this ability to broadcast this amount of information through TV, traditional TV outlets. So this is still 2001 when we're not talking about like our screens and stuff. That capability was introduced not that long. I think it was implemented in 1999 or 2000, but right before 2001 is when that got going. And so 2001, we were ushered into the age of the CGI overlay, and then I guess Hollywood just. But I think it also existed before.
Yeah, they used it in that film, The Gladiator. Oliver Reed, I talked about that, posted that, and they used that. And I don't know whether they told us that though.
Oh yeah, this one was just for live. I'm sorry, live broadcast. Jalea North America it wasn't just like ability to do HD or this type of technology. It was just for live HD broadcast. Yeah. Theoretically, quote unquote, live. Because before everything we got live was like super low res. Anyway.
Quick change of subject here. Over here, it's the Grenfell Tower. Do you know what that is?
Yes.
So it's the anniversary of.
Tell everybody what it was. A horrific tragedy 5 years ago, right?
Same years as the Manchester bomb.
Oh, double whammy. Oh my God.
Yeah, so 2017, and randomly this block of flats set on fire, and the cladding set on fire, and it set the whole building on fire really fast. On the camera, it's really fast. But a building did burn down. There's a building there now. They left the burnt building up there with like some little cover on it or whatever. But they said it was full of like illegal immigrants and like 10 in the room and stuff. And this is what they're saying. I'm just trying to make this little link now out. It was all about all the immigrant stuff. And then today's the anniversary, and today is the first flight. They're making this other big thing in politics, a first flight to deport immigrants for checks in Rwanda. And I just thought it's a bit of they're making a big deal out of this flight that Boris has said, they're going to Rwanda to get checked out. They're not just staying here. So all the last few weeks, they've been showing us in the media, like guys on boats, like 10 people on boats all coming over the channel.
Yep.
And then now they're saying those people have to go to Rwanda instead of coming into England and just being let in. Now they have to, and everyone's going mad about that. And it just happens to be on the same day.
That's interesting. And they're both related to immigrants. Yeah.
But when this flat burnt down, there was like videos uploaded to YouTube of stuff of like, I watched these videos myself of like these girls running up the stairs from the fire and standing on the roof, and the fire brigade shouting up like, stay in your rooms, it's all safe and stuff, where they're trying to tell them that the building ain't going to engulf in flames in seconds. So originally they say a fridge set on fire in someone's house and set the whole block of flats on fire.
Are refrigerators known for catching on fire?
I don't think that, but the big thing was there was smoke in the hallway, and the firemen was like, go back upstairs, and then the whole building went up, and then they changed all the cladding on like loads of flats, even around there, all the cladding on flats got changed to the different cladding.
Interesting. The immigrant thing, I like that you brought that up first, because I think that is a cover. I like to put on the HV hat of nobody died, nobody got hurt. Actually, that's a phrase borrowed from.
I don't believe anyone died in that.
The immigrant thing makes it so nobody would have known them.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know anybody in that tower. Oh, it was
and
just
you
full
don't
of
know the names. When you read
don't...
the names, you don't know anybody with those names. Like if you look through like the names of the people, like you 100% don't know anybody
Right. It's a
with
way,
those
yeah.
names. And if you
It's
look,
anonymous names and anonymous, and so those are just, they're
and fake
ghosts.
faces,
They're
if you
ghosts. Yes.
check up anybody's faces on from that Grenfell Tower and just look, some of them are so fake. So if one's fake, why aren't they all fake?
Right.
Like, some of them look ridiculously fake.
Right.
Like, I done a post on this a while back, like probably I think it was like 2 anniversaries ago. And I took it down because I couldn't be bothered with the comments. I think I was busy, and everyone was just like, "Hey, you're racist," and all that. It's nothing to do with that. I'm saying nobody. It's just like 9/11. But all those names, nobody knows. Nobody knows them. And then they had all these people coming forward who didn't even live in the flats, claiming compensation and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, because they were saying, "Oh, I lived in that room illegally, and I'm illegal," and they made a big thing about that. And all the stars got involved. That's where it red flag. Like, they had like a rappers go and all this stuff go there. And then today they had Prince William and what's she called? Prince William and Kate at the scene, all visiting people.
Rambo. I just, I had to Google, of course, the victims' faces. And I mean, you're right. They all could be straight off thispersondoesnotexist.com. They're not even good. I recommend everyone going back and looking at the faces of the so-called terrorists, the 19 terrorists on 9/11. Look at those faces. Go back and look at those faces. Just look at them, examine them. They are so off. If it was just one, if it was just one person that looked wonky, I'd be like, okay, that guy just looks wonky. I feel sorry for him. But it's every single face is just not right. It looks like this, it gives you that heebie-jeebie vibes of all the faces from thispersondoesnotexist.com. Once you realize that these faces are not real, because like if you don't know that, the first couple, you'll look at it and be like, this looks like a regular face. That's just a regular guy. This is a face I would see on Facebook all the time. Like, this, what's so special about this website? And then once you realize that, or told, that they are fake, every single one of them, even the ones that you'd be like, what, that looks real. They're all fake. But once you get that, then they never look real again. Never.
Yeah, so when you look at those victims, you get the same thing, but then they add to it
Uncanny
the family
Valley.
and the kids and a background story, and then it's real. Do you know what I mean? It's that
and then
easy,
they celebrate it over and over and over and over,
Yeah,
like they're doing now. And these big candlelight vigils, and all the whole public comes up and mourns these people that they don't even know. And if you think that sounds ridiculous, just think of all the people mourning anything and like Ukraine. Think of all the people with
Still
Ukraine flags. Oh, I mean, it's crumbling. I've seen so many major blue checks and kind of major news people or, big voices in this world begin to say, maybe they're not telling us the truth about Ukraine. It's like, hello. Because all the pictures and videos coming out now in this war-torn, besieged country, people are just frolicking on the beach. And in the background is a magnificent city, a city that was supposed to be shelled.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, like it's just a holiday destination.
Everyone couldn't be more at ease and carefree. Yeah, footloose and fancy-free, for sure. It's a dichotomy. It's I think a bifurcation of the mind. We're told one thing and then we're told and shown one thing. We're told that it's like deep destruction, war torn, everything. Ukraine has basically been decimated down to the studs. But then we are shown how it actually is, like accidentally. We get a glimpse of how it actually is, and we're like, wait a second. I think for some people, I don't even think they make a connection that there's like an irony there, or that there's something that they should even think about. They just think, oh, well, it must be down the road. The destruction must be down the road. The war just must be in a different. This must just be the place where the war hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I think some people will see that, and it won't look like anything. They won't make any assumptions or prepositions or presumptions off that photo. They won't be like, hey, shouldn't it be like wartime over there? Anywho, yeah, but Les showed us that again. Endless shout outs to Les. Les showed us that back in March, April. Damn, on it from day one.
What's it like now over there for like people? I know going back in time, but it's still a thing. people getting vaccinated or talking about being vaccinated? Is it just gone?
It's weirdly, they keep trying to make us come back to fear on it. They tried it with the
I
monkeypox,
think the
but nobody's
seedling,
taken it.
planting little seeds now.
Yeah.
Ready? It's not over.
Well, I think what's going to happen is the next cold and flu season that comes around, they will have planted all those little seeds and we'll be like, naturally,
told
normally
ya.
sick like we would. And then they'll be like, it's COVID. And I'm like, no, let me get my
We
booster.
told you.
Yeah.
I do feel that I get the feeling that they could do another lockdown, whereas in like they could pull it off at this minute in time, but maybe they need to keep doing it until people just go.
This is a high allergy year.
Fake.
This is a high allergy
take
year.
a few times till you go, actually, it is fake. Maybe they keep doing it. Like, why can't they see it's fake?
Yeah,
Like,
exposure therapy.
Keep doing it till you can see it's fake, because
I like that. I think that that's interesting. There would have to be you can bend something so far at a certain there's a flex point. There's an allowance for that. There's an allowance to be pushed or bent in a way, but everything has a breaking point where it would snap. Like a twig. You can bend it so far, and then bend it too far, it's gonna snap on you. I do wonder if they continue this ridiculousness that's so clear to us, kind of on the sidelines. We've exited the arena of a lunacy.
Maybe they need more to exit. So
yeah, maybe they need a couple more cycles
back,
where they're being bent their free will, their will, everything about them, their psyche, their behavior is being bent.
At the end, the people that haven't stepped on the sidelines are going to have the shock of their lives. They're not going to be able to. If it was to come round that it was going to be exposed, some people will just feel like overload.
That it was all a farce. Like the ultimate. Or
maybe
reality?
they'll just be ultimately
just
might just be led
it's
off
gone
the
away.
cliff.
I think it's gone away. Oh, you're sick this season? It's just a cold and flu.
I kind of am getting that feeling that it could well be just keep on doing it till they just see.
Yeah.
Like separate the other ones and just go and do what. Do you know what I mean? That's why it might be. That's why it might be end times. It's more of just like you got till now to see it's all bullshit.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? To me, it feels like it is at breaking point. Everything in the world is since all the stuff they keep they don't let it rest, do they? They kind of keep something in the news that's kind of going on, like Ukraine is going off in the background straight from COVID. And then we've had these little Will Smith, these little bits just keep coming up.
I'm kind of visualizing
like a build up.
Like on a soundboard, like an audio mixer on a soundboard, like just dialing up, pushing up, a certain story, a certain, we need more disgust in the world. What should we do? And they're like, okay, let's dial up the Amber Heard trial and talk about her pooping in the bed and go, and everyone's like, oh, disgust,
And that's with everything. I feel like every news channel now, you can just see patterns of numbers in the background and stuff, like they'll show a number 6 in the back. It's every time.
Right.
It's like it's coded. And even in like Netflix series and stuff, you just see those 3, 6, 9, those same numbers over and over. It's just everywhere. It's coded.
It's hard to see a headline about any sort of traumatic event without 33 being directly in the headline.
There,
Like, Jesus, guys. Come on. Work a little harder. It does feel like whoever is projecting this unreality is lazy and unoriginal.
Yeah, I feel like it's coded for somebody else. Well, it is, isn't it? Like it's coded for programming for us, but somebody else can also see that coding somewhere. Do you know what I mean? The people
you think it's turning stuff on?
There.
You think it's like programming, switching on and off switches in our head and our brain?
Yeah,
music
doing
has
something. And I think it's coding the level of like whatever kind of emotion it's taking from us. Like see a 6, it might mean something else. See a 9, it might mean a different kind of energy. Do you know, like
yes.
I feel like that's
letters
what it kind
and
of
numbers.
Is.
Letters and numbers have their own frequencies and their own energetic properties. And when we string those characters together, that forms multiplications of energetic entities, like it's not just a letter or a number on a page or on a screen. It's a powerful delivery device that we need to be aware of.
It's everything it does feel like everything's just coded for those kind of emotions. That's where I'm kind of at with it. And you see it in everything.
Yeah.
Football, boxing, everything. It's always like, I was watching one the other day, like after I watched, remember the Mike Tyson hoax? So I was like
On a
digging
plane.
for more, knowing everything just in his whole career. Have you seen that video of the Mike
Eating
Tyson
the
hoax?
ear.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
there's a video called the Mike Tyson hoax. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So I just remembered that video the other day, and I just thought I'm gonna look for some of his fake fights, just like look for some highlights and stuff, and just like put up his. And one of them, his record was 33 wins and 3 losses and 29 knockouts. 9/11 right there. It's like, and that was years ago.
He's such a
before 9/11.
fascinating character too. He does have so many interesting events around him with the biting of the ear.
And he come out and said the Will Smith, Chris Rock thing was a hoax, didn't he? Mike Tyson.
Oh, I didn't remember that.
Yeah.
He said that?
Said it was fake, staged.
Well, it sure was.
And then he went on to his.
And then he did his own one on the plane.
Yeah.
He did his own one on the plane. Oh my gosh. Mike Tyson. Yeah, he really re-entered our spheres, our spheres of cognition when he was in The Hangover, I think. I think that movie brought him back.
Because he disappeared for.
I think he had some legal trouble. If I'm remembering correctly, he maybe had like some assault and battery stuff, and his reputation wasn't so sparkling clean, and he was kind of under the radar for a while.
Because he went to jail for rape, didn't he?
Okay, that's what it was.
And that was his ritual. Yeah. That's his.
Right.
That's what happened. You know what I mean? That's
Kobe style.
Kobe
Bryant
they
style.
all kind of get it, don't they? Like Mason Greenwood's getting it now. Talking about Mason Greenwood, the saying is getting off with it. No charges.
Oh, no charges. You predicted that.
Yeah,
you predicted. Okay, remind
coming.
everybody Mason Greenwood. It's been a minute since we talked about him. Oh my gosh.
So he was the footballer. He was like
He's number 33, right?
Number 11.
Okay, number 11.
Just like the only other player for United who got done for the same thing and got away with it as well.
That's right. That's right. Okay.
Yeah. So he was a voice recording of his girlfriend, him like doing stuff to his girlfriend, come out, just a voice recording, some pictures of like bruised arms and bruised legs. You couldn't see her face and a bit of blood on her face, which looked like vampire blood as soon as I seen it.
like toy blood. Yeah.
Then her parents come out and said the phone got hacked and they was happy together and all this stuff. And then everyone just United took him off the team sheet, took him off the website. They even took him off the FIFA computer game. They took it. All the sponsors dropped him. Everyone, all the fans like, no, he can't ever play football again and all this stuff. Then there was rumours then that he might come back, and then it was like split. It was like already because United are doing really bad.
Yeah.
And it was like split that.
Like we know he's
they want him back.
He's on the rape charge.
Everyone deserves a second chance.
Yeah, everyone deserves a second chance. Let's give him a chance.
It's like 50-50 that. And then now he's like, so his bail is up this week and they're saying that he's going to have no charges.
You predicted that, so good on you.
And it's just in time for the World Cup. That's what.
So he might come back. He might come back.
He could be there for the World Cup. Is this year? I think it's in like November or something. So
save the day.
He's back just in time. Save the day.
Yeah.
Mason, and then they've got the Washington Green. What's it called? The Greenwood Masonic Center, and it's called Mason Greenwood. And then, like, he's number 11, and his birthday is the 1st of the 10th. Do you know, like it's
11?
Yeah, he's in, and he's going to come back, and he's got the fans want him back. This is what's crazy. They want him back now. All of a sudden, they don't care now. There's rumors
is he black and his girlfriend was white?
Yeah, and it happened to be in Black History Month, didn't it, as well? And like the first day.
The black and white checkerboard just popped into my mind because it's Masonic symbolism, black and white. And then I was like, I wonder what their combo is in black and white. Not that Masonic.
It's,
I don't know.
he
It's
will
a little
come
too on
back
the
and he'll
nose.
definitely be the best player on United, and he'll be a hero at the World Cup. That's what I'm said it for ages. That's what's going to happen, and it is.
Yes, if the charges are dropped, it's perfect positioning. And then think of the polarization of that little swirl.
Yeah, there'll still be people that don't want him there.
Demonized and lionized in the same breath, essentially. The same. It's so interesting, and that's a lot of power. Polarity is what powers everything. But speaking of black and white Masonic, panda bears have been having a little bit of
gone a bit viral, haven't they? I noticed that.
Another thing you called from day one. Yeah. So there was a viral TikTok that was going around, and it was like, "Hey guys, have you ever heard that pandas might be fake?" And then kind of did all your
goes through like that
basically
Instagram presentation, basically.
Yeah. Without crediting you, it basically stole all of your rationales. Like, oh, isn't that weird? Have you guys ever heard that before? And we're all screaming like, yeah, from Rambo. Yes. You had so many people tag you on that though. You had so many people like and send it to you and be like, Rambo, this is basically what you've been saying this whole time. So good on you. Good on you for a number early in. What's the latest or what's the weirdest new thing you've learned about panda bears? I think you've covered this, but someone reminded me recently that they're only born female. All panda bears.
Well, they don't know the difference. You say there's like we say because the penis is so small, they don't know. Yeah.
I need to Google this real quick.
I watched a little thing on them the other day. I don't even now they're just all on me feed, so I'm all on like seeing those panda club posts on Instagram all the time and stuff. And I seen one the other day, and it's like they can only have, if they had 2 babies, then they lose one in the wild. So they just leave that one and take the strongest with them. And so they will only take one baby with them in the wild.
Interesting.
I may have to have another look and see if there is anything new popping up, like, because I've not looked at them for a while. I'm convinced anyway. So I kind of like close the book on that one. Pandas are fake.
Exactly. But now you have to go back it with fresh eyes. And like you just said, I'm reading the five interesting facts. And a panda will abandon a child if she has twins. She'll just leave one. She'll pick one and leave one. Who knows? That sounds, for a rare species, sounds like a interesting. Well, I mean, I guess I don't know if they're.
Liz sent me a weird one the other day.
What?
I've still not looked at it. It's called the chupacabra.
Oh, the chupacabra. That's kind of.
And it's like this vampire wolf or something.
Yeah. It's a legendary creature of folklore, and kind of like, I think it has a start in like Puerto Rico or something. But yeah, the chupacabra is supposedly this really wild beast, like. But anyway, it supposedly washes up on the shore, and nobody knows what it is. So they named it chupacabra. It literally means goat sucker.
She sent me this newspaper article of like the chupacabra. Was it the chupacabra or something? I'd never heard of it before until the other day, but.
Yeah. Oh, first attested in March 1995, the chupacabra. The name comes from the animal's reported vampirism. The chupacabra is said to attack and drink the blood of livestock, including goats. So it's like this wild animal. But like, it hasn't been proven to have existed. It was just purported in 1995, and now there's an entire legend around it. It's kind of interesting.
It's like a Loch Ness monster. And
yeah. Yep. Have we ever talked about the Loch Ness monster before? We should. I feel like we need to get Leo and Les on and just talk about have a whole episode about the Loch Ness monster. That's kind of one of the original conspiracies, right? Or not even conspiracy, but mythologies, a city mythology, or a place, a mythology of place. Creature-based mythology.
It attracts people to the area. And do you know what's really weird? What I think is weird, this is well off subject, but it's just...
Go for it.
There's this, at the minute, this viral chip shop in the UK. Everyone's going to it, queuing up to go there, driving miles to get there. And it's just a normal chip shop that's just down the road.
There's nothing special
made
about
it a meme. No. So they've made this like song. It's called Bingley Mega Chippy. Binley Mega Chippy. Binley.
Binley.
Mega Chippy. And it's like everyone's going there. People are driving for miles to get there.
A gift from God. Billy Mega Chippy owner basks in TikTok fame.
I don't know why I'd say that, but it's just how easy we can make just anything viral. They'll just make a chippy viral. It's like, it might just be a test. It's like, what's this?
Damn.
Get everyone to go this chippy, like.
I love that. I love that thought because it does. There can be. We sometimes are unknowingly tested upon, and I think that you're absolutely right. Something that goes viral and gets us to go to a space may not necessarily be at all about the space or the place, but just a test to
Someone
see if
asked
we
me,
will
did I want
do
to
that.
go? And it's 2 hours, 20 minutes.
Just for some chips, just for some
Do
French fries. Do they have really good
want to
ketchup?
go?
Or what do you eat? What do you eat on your chips? Because chips are French fries, like American version of
Yeah,
it.
just
What
chips,
do you eat on
but
them?
like they're not thin though. They're just like thick chips. I just usually have like curry sauce.
Oh, a curry sauce. See, we don't
Or
do that.
curry,
We don't
a
do-
mix. Yeah, so we do like, you can have like gravy or curry on them, or you get a fish and peas. Like fish chips and peas,
Right.
and a curry sauce. So
Yep.
like, that's usually what I would get.
In America, we do ketchup on our fries. And when I was in Holland, we did mayonnaise on our French fries. Oh, talk about getting gluttonous, but it was so good. People are like, gross, ooh, mayonnaise on your French fries. It's so good. And actually mix mayonnaise and ketchup together. It's too good. It is too good.
Can't mix sauces.
Oh, you're one of those. You can't. So
Yeah.
everything on your plate. Does nothing on your plate?
Yeah.
Oh
don't
boy.
Mix anything in.
I like a goulash. I like to get everything on the plate, have it all mixed up, get some mixed boundaries in there. I like a lot of commingling of my foods and flavors in my sauces. But I think it's so interesting about the human brain, because you're kind of one or the other. You actually have like a really strong preference, and that drives all of your behaviors around eating and how you eat, how you move your fork, everything. Every decision that you make and every action that you do around eating is either in the pursuit of keeping the foods separated. And you'll see this in high intensity with some kids, like they can't have any crossover and they go nuts, and then some people don't. Some people have almost I wouldn't say the total opposite, but almost a desire to get things together, to do an inkling, a precognition to do the opposite of what is for whatever reason that drives this crowd and whatever reason that drives the other crowd. Isn't that funny how we have these tiny little preferences? It's like a switch.
What about left-handed, right? I'm left-handed.
Ooh. Oh, you're left-handed? I
Yeah.
feel like I knew that. I feel like I knew that about you. Left-handed, doesn't let his food stuffs touch. I'm right-handed. My food's all over the plate, all over my face and outfit.
I always think it's weird. Like, some people are left-handed but right-footed and stuff like that. I'm just like left-handed, left-footed. It's weird how it.
I'm left-footed.
Everything's left.
And I can do many sports left and right. And if I used to do like some tumbling stuff, and I always I'm a left dominant, and I'm left dominant in many things, except for writing, except for my hand, my penmanship. Yeah, that's interesting.
So I write really, really weird. So I like this, and I get all the ink all over me every time.
Yes, that is a struggle of left-handedness. There's no good way to hold your hand without getting all of. You have to kind of
So I go
cripple yourself
it. Yeah,
to
so
write
I
without.
write round it like.
It is interesting, and they say that whatever you're strongest with writing, whatever your dominant hand is with writing, is highly affects how your brain is wired as well. There's so many things about these practices they make us do. Like, what if we never had to choose to? If we never had to write, would we? Well, I guess we do lots of things with those hands, but I don't know. Like, if writing weren't part of the equation, would you naturally just be more ambidextrous, like a child kind of switches back and forth, But if you were never forced to do that one thing called penmanship that really forced your focus.
Can you learn the other one, though? Do you think as an adult now you can learn to be the other hand? I don't think you can, because I've tried and tried and tried.
I think, I don't really, I think it would be almost as difficult to do naturally as learning another language. Like, you could probably practice a lot, but it's not going to be easy. Even if you get better at it and maybe one day get good at it, it's not going to be like an easy thing. You're going to have to do it really, really with a lot of purpose and focus. Versus if I could just pick up the pen and like doodle-doo with my dominant hand. Yeah. As an adult, it's harder and harder to. They say you can't teach an old dog new tricks. I think there's something to that. But as an old dog over here, I am learning all sorts of new things all the time. So I would have to object to that notion. I think that we can rewire our at least our way of thinking. Maybe not our right or left hand on how we write, but I think we can
like
rewire our thinking.
it is weird, isn't it? It is a weird one. Like I could not now like kick a football with my right foot, not at all. Just can't do it.
It's almost like we're rendered. Yeah, it's almost like a different person's doing it. It's like I know I can kick a football,
but
the person on my right side, they don't know shit. They're a horrible soccer player. Whoever's running that side, you know. Oh, well, this is a good one. We'll keep our eye out and see what comes next.
Will do.
All right, talk soon.
Take care.